Alright, it's gonna be a malt liquor video. Shout out to special lady friend. I got some, I bought these munchies a couple days ago, so I started to walk out to the shed, and she's like, "Honey, do you want munchies?" And she held up a bag of those pretzels with peanut butter in them. Oh man, special lady friend, everybody. Malt liquor. Anyway, a video about emotions. Basically about hitting emotional reset. But first of all, why do we have emotions? They're signals to think, just like the nerve endings in our hands. We put it down in a hot stove, we know to whip our hand away. That's a signal to react, just like emotions are a signal to think and respond. And the thing is, I was thinking about is almost all your emotional reactions are going to be valid, but the decisions you make on that, based on that, need to be re-examined after you hit emotional reset. You know, it's like once your stove burns you, you might have all sorts of reactions. That's the thing about our emotions, is that you have this one thing happen, and depending on your emotions, it could be, you could have an extreme reaction or a mild reaction. It might be like, you might have different emotions to things that have different levels of issue, let's say, but you might have the same reaction to all of them, just because we're just simple creatures. We emotionally paint with basic colors. My friend worked in a hospital, and he said a person gets his thumb cut off and a person gets his arm cut off, and what he noticed is they had the most exact same reaction. The guy that had his thumb cut off isn't overreacting, and we just have limited ways to react. It's a major deal. You know, I mean, you can actually hit. Here's the thing about emotional reset. After you calm down, you can say things like, "At least I'm alive," or "At least I didn't lose my arm." Have some perspective, and then, like in that situation, I just lost a finger. You actually feel kind of grateful. It could have been worse. One thing I was thinking about emotional reset is you have a reaction, you make a decision, and then you revisit it and say, like, I want to try to manipulate that past experience in a positive way, as opposed to the whole terrible thing of like, I want to recreate it, and this time around I'm going to do a better job. Recreating a negative experience over and over again is a human trait. It's a human error. But you could go back and revisit that and say, and talk and plan differently and look at it in a different angle and say, like, I would like in the future it to go like this, or despite that bad thing happened, I could see a positive outcome from it. Mostly what I'm worried about is you have an emotional reaction, you make a decision, and you're like, good, I'm just done. I don't need to rethink it. Because sometimes our emotions could lead us down paths that we make decisions upon, and then we make decisions based on those decisions. And if our original standpoint was sending us in the wrong direction, every decision we make after that is still progressing down that wrong direction, that wrong path. And how do you know it's wrong? I suppose it's because it's not necessarily healthy for you and everyone else involved. Typically, that's how you know that if your emotions don't go away about it, like, it still bothers me what happened 2 years ago, it's probably because you did not have them, you had the emotion, you had the reaction, and then you never went back and took emotion out of the equation and then rethought out what happened in your response. I might not have made the best decision for my emotions, but did I make the best decision for my life? I had this coworker. He stole my jacket, and I caught him. And he basically said like, "Well, are you gonna take it away from me? Was he gonna? He's gonna fight me over my jacket? I don't know." It was just a question. But in my mind, I'm like, "Aren't you gonna give it to me?" But I didn't even say that. What I did was went to accounting and said, "Hey, Joe stole my jacket. I'm going to buy a new one, and the company's going to pay for it." And they said, "Okay." That worked out great. Joe even actually, when I was walking around a new jacket, he's like, "You bought a new jacket?" I'm like, "No, the company bought it for me." And he laughed. I'm like, "I don't know what you're laughing at. Just a thief wearing a used jacket. And everyone knows you're a thief. And the company just lost money because of your behavior. And if you ever need their backing, good luck." I did not let my emotions were, actually at the time, I was taking Taekwondo. I was all spun up on violence. I could have said, "Yeah, I'm going to take my jacket back from you, motherfucker." But look how better that worked out. I avoided the confrontation. I got a brand new jacket for free. And basically a guy that kind of comes off as my enemy shafted himself at work in a way that, like, if it ever could go either way for that guy, it was going to go the bad way as far as the company was concerned. Better not make no mistakes. It's the other thing about emotions, like, you want someone else to suffer for the way they made you feel, but if they're really a bad person, it's better off with them out of your life. If they're a good person that made a mistake, that's where you hit the emotional reset, go back and talk to them, and together you could fix it. If you can't fix it, then they probably are toxic, and you're better off without them. But dealing with it emotionlessly as much as you can, and intellectually as much as you can, you're going to come out to something that benefits you better over the long run, as opposed to having some sort of emotional satisfaction. Today's going to be a good day. I'll tell you that much.